entire life. And I'm really bad at history, I admit that. But I never heard that there was a time period in the early 1700s when we were a British colony where there were mutant incest babies running around. This is something I have never heard before. Is there like a story of anything or like a tale, like something that you could reference, like that I would know about or that anybody else would have heard about, or?
Alright. I'm gonna see if I can find you a story.
Because like I've heard of the Salem witch trials where people were tried because of religious reasons and people thought they were...
Right.
What?
Behind.
It's really hard to quickly find.
Yeah, that's okay. Well, I mean, it seems like it should be pretty easy.
Bible condoned incest and slavery.
There's another guy to the right behind the building.
Okay. I'm gonna move up.
Oh shit, there's another guy like way back here.
Oh, I saw
That other guy's pushing. Come over there. I want to get an inhale.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, I feel like
Same one.
looking up stories of like mutant babies, I feel like that should be pretty easy to find, no? Like, sounds pretty sensational.
Alright. How about I search it different?
How can incest be wrong religiously? What about like Cain and Abel? Wasn't the only way they were able to have babies was through incest?
Meaning what?
Like, back in the early days of the Bible, wouldn't they have had to have had incest? Like, how? Would they not? Because there were so few people. Oh, I mean, I'm
That
sorry.
is.
So how did they have
Adam and
babies?
Eve, yeah. But Adam and Eve aren't exactly.
Adam and
Yeah.
Eve are what?
Aren't exactly related. They were just created. But
What about their
yeah,
children though?
I
Shouldn't
can, yeah, exactly. That's
maybe they all? Maybe we're all mutant
No.
babies.
God, let him be okay.
So have you heard anything about mutant babies or?
all right. I'm looking, but I'm just seeing like recent articles about incest.
I don't think this happened, my dude. Where did you hear about this at?
I read an article about it.
Do you remember what the article was
It's
about?
there,
Or
but it's
where you read
it's-
it? Or what it was from? Sounds like the article might have been made up, my dude. Okay, I think we should just move on to the morality argument.
all right. So I'm gonna go with what I read. So in that morality, they banned because of these deformities in children.
Yeah, but keep in mind that if you have gay incestual twins, though, or if you use birth control, that this won't happen.
Right. I'm trying to get to that why it's illegal. Still.
Okay.
So to attack the source, we had laws on incest, which is a family law. And then the reason why we still have these laws to this date is because of marriage. People can't pass their family name and irresponsibilities with their right. So let's say we made incest legal, right? You think everyone's gonna be responsible, and then people aren't going to be responsible and not use condom, and then she gets pregnant.
Okay, what
Say
about
that.
just gay? We'll say just gay people then. Actually, you know what? No, this argument even doesn't work. So do you agree with eugenics?
Eugenics?
Yeah.
What's that?
So you think that incestual people shouldn't be allowed to have children, right? Because they could have children with diseases and whatnot. They'd be fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that anybody that could give birth to offspring with diseases like Parkinson's or any other type of degenerative disease or Huntington's or whatever, do you think these people shouldn't be allowed to have children as well?
If they call it deformity, yeah.
Okay, so that would apply to straight people as well, right? That's a pretty radical thing. So you think that we should practice a form of eugenics in the United States where we don't allow some people to reproduce because they can give birth to offspring that might have diseases?
I mean, I don't think you can really enforce that.
Yeah, you could pretty easily. You would just force sterilization on them. If you were born with any kind of disease that has like strong genetic markers, you would just sterilize those people.
Okay, but that's not really the debate on what I'm trying to accomplish.
Okay, but you're saying that one of the reasons why incest should be wrong is because some of the children could be genetically deformed. But you're okay
Right.
with non-incestual people having genetically deformed children?
I mean, you can't really help that. That happens once in a while. I actually don't know the science behind why that happens.
I mean, how can you
but-
stop incest relationships that just happen inside the home?
When
I was
they're
thinking-
caught, they go to jail for, for about 14 years.
Okay, and if somebody
So
gets
it'd be
caught
pretty
having a
stupid.
child with a genetic disease, you abort the child and then you send them to jail for years. No, you can enforce it the same way.
Listen, I don't think that your analogy to that and incest are the same because
Tell me why.
because what would you think the statistics are in eugenics?
Statistics in
And,
eugenics? I don't think that's a complete
yeah.
sentence. What do you mean?
Like deformities.
There are some diseases that are absolutely passed on genetically with a high degree of certainty.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's very, very, very high degree of probability. So,
but these deformities I'm talking about are through
Helmet on the roof.
incest, and they are very easily done when they're born.
okay, and the same thing happened with non-incestual people, depending on the disease. So,
Well, what I'm saying is that the deformities I'm talking about may be different than what you're talking about.
mine are much worse. If you're talking about like neurodegenerative things that are like early onset, these are going to be way worse than anything you'll get being a fucking incest baby. And these are absolutely horrible. People kill themselves because when these diseases. I know that like Huntington's people can legitimately kill themselves. Like with, and even things like, I don't know if Crohn's disease has like strong genetic backing. Do you know, Mr. Moten? Because then like
No, I
Crohn's,
have no
like
idea.
these are diseases that make your life like a living fucking hell. Down
Right.
syndrome, I think there might be genetic markers as well. Or if you've advanced in age too much, the likelihood of your child having Down syndrome goes up significantly as well. And Down syndrome can make you almost unlivable as a single person. Like you might need assistance for the rest of your life.
I actually disagree on Down syndrome being this.
That's fine if you disagree, but you're wrong.
Yeah.
Depending on how severe your Down syndrome is, you can absolutely be unable to live the rest of your life alone. Even with autism, I don't want to say advanced, but there are some like levels of autism where if you are too far down, you might need a caretaker for the remainder of your life. Like you can never live separately. So I mean,
Maybe not separately, but I have seen cases where Down syndrome kids or teenagers having jobs.
maybe, but
Like Starbucks totally
What?
allows them.
Was it
to
you?
have their-
Upstairs, no.
yeah, but I mean like it would depend a lot. Like not everybody is going to be able to do that if they've got like Down syndrome.
Yeah, maybe not everybody, but I'm trying to say that there's some cases where Down syndrome kids.
Okay, and there are some cases where kids born of incest will be fine as well.
Well, yeah, I don't. So, you're thinking of incest has like a mental disorder. You know what you're saying?
It depends. Do you know how you get fucked up from incest? Do you know why incest is bad?
Yeah, because our morality thing is wrong.
No. Why is it like bad to have incest kids?
The kids?
Yeah, like why is it bad genetically to have incestual children?
Genetically, because we have these deformities that cause health problems.
Yeah, but where do the deformities come from? Just because it's incest?
I can't really argue about that.
Okay, so
I don't
when
know,
I
but-
don't understand it that well either, Mr. Moon. You might know more, but I think that the problem is that when you have sex with somebody that has a very similar genetic makeup to you, you have a higher chance that certain bad recessive traits can get passed on. And you also don't have as many like duplicate genes that could be healthy to like correct those disorders, right?
Lack of diversity.
Well, but more specifically, that's what the lack
Yeah.
of diversity specifically is. I think
Yeah.
is that you've got a higher chance of winding up with two copies of like a bad gene. This is why men I think are more often colorblind than women because you're less likely to carry like colorblindness. I think is an error in the X chromosome.
The X, yeah. Women have two.
And since women carry two X chromosomes, they're more likely to have a correct copy. I'm pretty sure.
That's
But
correct.
yeah. So
I have four.
basically, okay. So do I. So, but basically, all incest is like it gives you a higher chance of having like some of these genetic diseases. It's not a guarantee. Just because you have an incest baby doesn't mean it's going to be a mutant. And first generation incest isn't even really that bad. Like a first generation incest child's probably going to be just fine. It's when you get many generations into it that the lack of genetic diversity will cause a massive overrepresentation in some of these genetic diseases. So, I'm bringing this up because it seems like you think that. Like, if a brother and sister have a child, it's magically going to be, like, totally deformed and fucked.
No,
When
no.
chances are it's going to be, like, totally normal. It's going to be just fine.
Yeah, but there's actually been a study. I think I can actually find it pretty easy, where 40%. This study that 40% were actually deformed children.
40%? Not of first-generation children. No, absolutely not. You can't find that study because it doesn't exist. I know it doesn't. You can try and find it if you want, but I know that's not true. It might be like a few percentage points higher, but not 40%. No way. There were royal families that practiced incestual relationships, weren't there? I don't remember who it was. I don't think it was ever England. And I'm not talking Game of
Dank
Thrones.
memes Kaylee's in 3, 2, 1. Dank memes Kaylee's.
But all of
Cersei have
this-
3 kids and one was fucked up.
Fuck off. But,
Sounds like 40.
Were most royal families incestuous? The Germans? Maybe it was the Germans? Yeah, I don't remember. But yeah, so anyway, I mean, without getting into like who specifically was, although I mean we could look it up and find it pretty easily. All European royal families practice incest. Yeah, sure. I know it was common with some royal families. I didn't know if it was all of them or not. So like, we don't really tell normal people, like non-incestuous people, we don't tell them not to have kids just because they might have a genetic disease. So it seems kind of weird to do it to incestual people. So moving on from that, like what is your, besides, because I mean this also doesn't even account for like what about gay incestual relationships or incestual relationships where one person is sterile or you use like you practice using birth control, the lady's on the pill or something. Like, what's your argument against these people?
Those people?
Yeah.
The royal family?
No. Like just say like say 2 gay brothers.
Oh, those. Okay. Well,
You-
morality. We're gonna think it's wrong anyways.
Well, no, but you need a reason why it's wrong.
Because we involve thinking that incest is wrong.
Okay,
So it's
do you know
not
what a
accepted
circular
in our
argument is?
civilization. No.
Okay, you said something is wrong, and I asked you why it's wrong, and you said it's wrong because it's wrong. It's tautological, or circular, or begging the
Well,
question.
I'm not saying that it's just wrong. I'm saying that as a civilization, we had these like builds up to why it became wrong.
Okay,
No, it's not easily comprehensible to why it's wrong.
You were okay with gay pride, right?
Mr. Moon,
And,
Mr. Moon,
like people
don't
being
worry.
gay, right?
Yeah.
Mr. Moon,
like,
don't
we were
worry.
very
Don't ruin
against
this,
that,
okay?
and it was very morally wrong. Probably, I don't know, what,
Yeah.
50 to 100 years ago?
Through religion.
Yeah? That's why incest.
I'm
That's
talking
what
to
you've
you
been
in
saying
game.
about
You
incest,
can't,
though, right?
you can't
It's
hear me
through
right
religion.
now. I'm talking to you in game. You can't hear me.
No, I'm saying that our morality on that came from religion.
So why was gay, like being gay, wrong?
Because in the Bible, people mistaking gay as wrong.
They mistook it, like mistaken it.
Wait, there were places in the Bible that made it so that gay was actually wrong. Like, it's not just a mistake. Like, it's in the Bible that no man shall lie with another
there's
man.
actually articles saying that it didn't say that in the Bible.
What? You're telling me that it's not a sin for a man to lie with another man? That I can't find that in, like,
grab
Deuteronomy?
King James Bible, like right now, and find.
Well,
you
we can
the
just look it
quote.
up. We can look Bible verses
Yeah.
online.
I'm not talking about the Bible. I'm talking about the original Bible.
You don't trust
They
the...
found.
Fake Bible, got it.
And
Wait,
in the
did they find, like,
original text,
the
it didn't
uncut, like the
say
director's
anything.
cut?
Straight from Luke.
What about
Okay,
the
so your argument now is that this is the fake Bible, and there's a different version that's correct. That doesn't say
saying-
a man shouldn't
I'm
lie
not-
with another man, right?
Okay, so in Leviticus, it says, you shall not lie with a male as a woman. Wait, you shall not lie with a male. Oh, you shall not lie with a male as with a woman. It is an abomination. And then later it says, if a man lies with a man as with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination. They shall surely be put to death. Their blood is upon them. Also, Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, but that part
So-
added.
Sodomy is not legal as well. Sodomy is illegal in biblical law. Oral sex and anal sex. How else are gay people supposed to have sex?
Now, is that an actual law?
Yeah, sodomy. Do you know why sex exists?
Why sex exists?
Yeah, are you religious?
No.
Okay, sex is a gift given to us by God for the building of families and for the strengthening of the relationship between the man and wife. That's the only reason sex exists. So sex should only be used for procreation
So,
and for the building of a relationship between a man and
I'm
wife.
getting shot.
Shit, I came from the north. So how can gay people ever have sex in the way that
I'm down. They're in the house, I think.
in that house?
so
I
why
can't, I
would
can't tell.
so why would God give them the ability to feel stimulation from another man?
Because we have the choice as people to choose between good and evil. That's what we do as people. Since Eve ate the apple. In this house, you said?
I couldn't see it, just thought.
But in the original study of the actual Bible that was discovered,
What is this actual
they
Bible?
They didn't have that.
I don't know what like secret Bible you have. I don't know what the secret Bible
Is
is.
he talking about Dead Sea Scrolls or?
That's not recognized as biblical
Yeah,
by
I know.
anybody.
He's the left.
But there's another one. To the right. How did those guys kill you from so far away?
One of them had a car.
Yeah, but even so, he was nailing shots. They were like really
Yeah.
fucking far from you, dude. Like leading shots far.
They're getting those good shots on me.
Yeah, I don't know. I would have to go like what yeah, I don't know like what Bible fanfic or extended universe you're reading. 'Cause I've never heard of these Bibles. I was raised Catholic, so I studied the
Alright,
Bible
so,
for 12
like-
years.
A very long time ago, I saw on Facebook an article saying that they discovered that the Bible actually didn't have anything against homosexuality.
Do you think that articles that you read on Facebook are a good source of rational information?
Not entirely.
Then why are you quoting to somebody that went to Catholic school for 12 years an article that you might have read a long time ago on Facebook and acting like this gives you some sort of biblical authority? It seems pretty extreme to me.
Right, that is a bit extreme.
Yeah, that sounds really extreme. Like maybe a tad foolish?
Maybe. But what I'm saying, ties of the homosexuality part, that I wouldn't really agree that homosexuality is actually wrong the same way.
Why?
Okay, but it was still wrong, and now it's not anymore. But this is all irrelevant. We're not using the Bible as a source for our morality. This isn't an argument. I want you to give me an argument why incest is wrong. You can't just say because of the Bible or because that's what morality says. It's a circular argument. You need to tell me why it's wrong. We can do this with any other strong moral leaning, right? Why is murder wrong? Because
Well,
you're
wasn't your thing on morality
yeah,
not law, right?
yeah, morality, not law, correct?
This is where many moralities came from. was
I don't care
religion.
about biblical morality though. That's not the type of morality that I'm interested in.
So everything like the clean slate morality. A child that never been born with religion, right?
What? Do you
child
think
that
the
never-
only type of morality that can exist is morality that comes from the Bible?
No. This is what I'm saying. I'm saying if a baby was born with a clean slate and they grow up without any religion in their head, are you talking about that kind of morality?
I'm talking about I'm
They
talking
will
about any
understand
morality that you
how-
can justify to me.
Okay, but I'm saying that are you saying
Okay, let me give you an
No.
example, okay? Stealing is wrong, okay? I think stealing is wrong. For me personally, I think stealing is wrong because I don't want people to steal things from me, okay? That's a personal argument I can make. Another argument is stealing is wrong because you are infringing on the rights of another person. Maybe you believe that people have certain inalienable rights that they're guaranteed, like security in their life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, or whatever, right? Maybe you have possessions and you feel that you should be secure in those possessions. Other people shouldn't be able to steal them from you, right? So these are reasons why, these are actions, and here's reasons why they're morally inexcusable, wrong. So now I'm curious for incest. What is your argument besides it's wrong because it's wrong? There has to be something more, an argument to justify that.
okay, so I did say, other than deformities, that incest is wrong because you can't pass family name.
So all sex that doesn't pass family name is wrong?
Not entirely, but I'm saying...
Then that means that's not an
if-
argument.
if-
Then we have to move on to the next argument.
Okay, hold on. If the brother was marrying the sister,
Okay, what about one-night
How-
stands?
how
Are
they're-
all forms of casual sex
if a
wrong?
if a straight male married his sister, how would that male pass
Fuck.
his name if they had the both same last name? Because they can't pass the name.
Okay, but
And
you
when
don't have
can't-
to have a family when you have sex.
Okay, but and then that argument, no one's responsible for right on sex with their sibling.
What?
They're not gonna refuse to tie their tubes, go on birth control, or wear a condom.
No, what about two gay people that never can have children?
Well, and two gay people that are boys,
Yeah?
I was think that's wrong because maybe the other siblings can.
So if other people
straight
can't
one
have
can.
sex, you can't have sex?
Exactly,
How
So
does
if
that
I-
make sense? What
because it's not fair in law. And then
do you mean it's not
America-
fair in law? How is it not fair?
Because America is a very fair country to other people.
Okay, I don't
So-
think gay sex should be allowed at all, because if I want to have sex with a woman, we've got to go through a lot of work for birth control. She either has to get on a pill or I have to use a condom. I think it's bullshit that women or men can have sex with each other and they don't have to use birth control. That's not very fair at all. So should they not be allowed to have sex at all?
No.
Why not? What's the difference?
Are we still on the incest thing, or you're talking about like relationships?
So I'm taking your argument and I'm testing it for consistency. Your argument was that brothers can't have sex with each other because brothers and sisters can't have sex with each other because it wouldn't be fair. So I'm asking you, should all forms of fairness be outlawed? All forms of sexual fairness, like if something is not fair, should it be outlawed? And now you just told me no, so I need a distinction. Why is it okay? Why is it okay that normal gay people can have sex, but incestually they can't?
Because they're not brothers and sisters.
Okay, so because it's not incest. So, but we've gone circular again. So you need to tell me why I don't know, you made like a 15-minute video on this, and you've had all this time to think, but you're in the same pit hole that no bullshit was in. You haven't given me any arguments against incest.
Actually, I gave you our morality on it and why it's wrong.
No, you
But
just told me that religious
as a
people think it's wrong.
civilization, we think it's wrong. It's in our head. It's
But that's
Yeah, but we used to think
circular.
gay rights was wrong.
Yeah, we thought gay rights were wrong, or transgenders were wrong. That's not an argument. It's just an appeal to tradition.
Exactly. It's tradition. That's why it's wrong.
No, but appeal to tradition is that's fallacious. That's not a good thing.
Not a good.
You can't just say that because we did something, that makes it morally right. That's not an argument.
All right. I have a question. If you had a son and their son, two brothers that were gay and love each other, would you allow that?
That's not a good question.
Why isn't it a good question?
Because you're not
Sounds like a
testing me
question.
for a logical moral argument. What if I was a
Actually-
psychopath?
actually-
What if I was a psychopath and you asked me if your son grew up and he murdered people, would you take care of that? And I go, yeah, I love murderers. Does that make my argument good or valid
That's
or
not-
logical?
That's not a very good analogy. I lied.
Why is it not a good analogy? You're not testing the logic of my argument. You're not seeing if it's logically consistent. You're just asking me
No,
like a
I'm
personal
asking you,
question.
If it was your two sons, two brothers that love each other, would you allow that relationship?
Sure, I don't give a fuck.
Okay.
Okay, so did I win
So-
my argument
so-
now because I said yes?
No.
Then why did you ask me the question?
So, what are you gonna do? to protect society?
What am I gonna do? What?
What would you do to protect society?
I don't know. Maybe by the time they grow up, maybe society will love incestual relationships. Mr. Mooden.
You think that?
I don't know. Maybe. We love gay people now.
Yeah. But the thing is that being gay wasn't a choice. It's never been a choice. Relations were a choice, but your sexuality is not. I wouldn't say
Is-
incest.
Would
I
you say
would-
is love a choice then?
Yes, but I don't think.
But
people,
being gay is not a
I
choice.
don't think people go out around their sibling thinking. I think that's bullshit. people think that these children have these thoughts growing up with their other sibling. That's kind of like a bullshit.
Well,
So-
clearly some people do
I
if
don't-
they fucking do it, right?
So love is a choice, correct? You agree with that?
Yeah,
But being gay isn't a choice.
yeah, gay isn't. Gay
So-
isn't.
Okay.
Why don't gay
But-
people just choose towards people who are just different sex?
But people don't choose what?
Why don't gay
Say
people
that
just
again.
choose to love people that are the different gender or whatever?
Because it's not a choice.
Oh, I thought
They
you
can
said
help
falling in love was a choice.
They can't help. Okay. That's different than sexuality. We're on two different fucking things here. You need to separate sexuality and who you want to be betrothed to.
Okay. So do you think that things that are morally righteous are only things that society accepts? Is that what your line of questioning was? So what would I tell if I had a kid growing up and he fell in love with a black woman 10 years ago, or not, I'm sorry, not 10 years ago, but like say like 80 years ago, would you tell that person you can't love her, that's wrong? And then when they go, why is it wrong? You go, well, because
It is.
society doesn't like it? That's a good argument?
No, I would say because that's your sister.
No. If it was like a
I
black
don't
woman and
believe that would be the.
a black woman and a white man, would you tell your son that that's wrong because society doesn't accept interracial relationships 80 years ago?